You know, I'm always telling you chicken boners that we living in some bad times. Things are getting worse and worse. And there's evidence of it being seen every day. Look at our economy. Look how the price of everything is going up. Look how much a gallon of gas is costing now. And do you honestly think it'll ever go back down? Or this will be the new norm and it'll continue to get up higher? Not only our economy, but look at the rumors of wars, and wars is happening right now. Happening right now. Look at this going on over in Russia and Ukraine. Is that affecting us? Yeah, it's affecting us. I'll give you a good example. Me and Stacy went to Taco Bell the other day, and we had to pay either with exact change or either a credit card. And they said the reason why they couldn't give us any change back was because of what's going on over in Russia and Ukraine right now. So it might sound like something simple that affected me, but yes, it affected me in that day trying to make a transaction. So a lot of things that might not be going on right around us do affect us. But in my opinion, one of the worst things that's going on right now is going on right up under our noses, and we're not really saying much about it. Some of us are, and some of us aren't, because they're afraid that they stand up for what's right and say something against it, that they'll be ostracized, or they'll be looked at as being haters or homophobes or just some kind of made up name. No, we got to stand up for the truth, got to stand up for what's right and speak against what's wrong. Now, I got a few clips here I want to show y'all. I'm going to stop in between them and comment on each one of them, okay? All right. Pop, pop, pop.
Whose children are they? Whether it's critical race theory or gender identity taught to kindergartners, American parents are demanding a greater say in public school instruction. A new documentary exposes what is happening in classrooms around the country and how parents can fight back. Well, joining us with more is Rebecca Friedrichs, one of the producers of the new documentary film, Whose Children Are They? She's founder of the For Kids and Country movement and author of the book Standing Up to Goliath. Hi, Rebecca. It's a pleasure. So explain what you have found. Is it just a few schools that are teaching critical race theory and sexualizing young children, or is it widespread?
These so-called teacher unions are not really representing teachers, and they're not really a traditional union in the sense people would think of a union. They're actually pushing a very far left political agenda by using our schools to indoctrinate children, to indoctrinate teachers, to bully teachers. And it's actually the teachers unions, the so-called teachers unions, who are behind the radical sexualization of our children, the critical race theory, the anti-discipline problems, policies that have turned our schools into war zones.
You've heard the argument from many educators that critical race theory is not being taught in public schools, and I'm sure many schools don't call it that. So what exactly is being taught?
It comes disguised as a lot of different things. It might be welcoming schools. It might be called social emotional learning. It might be called all sorts of equity. And there's all kinds of labels on it. But it's critical race theory. What is critical race theory? It's basically divide and conquer. Critical theory is a Marxist idea. And it was brought into our schools through something called the Frankfurt School that started in 1933 at Columbia University and has impacted our teacher colleges nationwide. And critical theory is really divide and conquer. So you can have critical race theory, critical class theory, critical do you wear your mask or not theory, critical vaccination theory. You can divide people on any number of things. And that's what critical theory does. It's absolutely in many of our schools across the nation, and it is part of the corrupted government educational system. So if it's not in your school, it's trying to get into your school. Maybe you have good school board members who are blocking it, but the so-called teacher unions control many school boards. They control the PTA and a lot of other organizations that are involved in our schools. So this is definitely being pushed into our schools. Beware.
Well, a lot of people say it's communist influence in our schools, and even the Disney Corporation tried to pressure Governor DeSantis in Florida into reversing a state decision prohibiting the teaching of sexual orientation or gender identity for students in kindergarten through third grade. And I know LGBTQ activists said Florida is forcing people back into the closet. So your thoughts on that? Is this happening beyond Florida? What did you find?
Well, it is happening beyond Florida. It's really happening across the world, but definitely all throughout America. The communism, I agree with you 100%. We discussed that in our movie. There were some communist goals that were read into our congressional record in 1963, and we bring up some of those. One of the goals, number 17, was to infiltrate the teacher associations, to dumb down the curriculum on purpose, and to bring socialist and communist propaganda into our schools. So this is definitely what is happening. Here's what our founders told us, our American founders. They said the only way to keep a free republic is with a well-educated and moral citizenry that can self-govern. These communists seek to undermine our free republic. They're actually making a whole lot of progress, as is obvious today. But what did they do? They sought to undermine our excellent education and undermine the morals of our children and our families. So that's why they're pushing this whole sexualized gender identity agenda, because they're trying to undermine the morals of our children. They're also telling them, your parents don't know better. Your parents are old fashioned. You know better. You can be a transgender. You can sleep with anybody you want. You can be whoever you want. They're teaching our children lies, and they're damaging their very identities, and the identities that God gave them, that God said that how he designed them, male and female, and knitted them in their mother's womb. And they're being told by our government school system that, no, that's not true. So this is an atheist agenda, a communist agenda for sure. And there are many, many organizations that are involved.
And
in Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 and 27, it says, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the earth, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." So God, listen now, God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female, he created them both. Now, who has the right, other than God, the creator, to decide whether you want to be a boy or a girl? That's it just don't make no sense. It's evil. Satan hates mankind. Satan hates God's creation, and he wants to do whatever he can to pervert God's creation. That's right. Satan hates God's creation, and he's sowing confusion in the minds of adults and the minds of children that they could be anything they want to be. That they can be a little girl if they were created a little boy. Or they could be a little boy if they were created a little girl. It's all about destroying God's creation. Check this story out right here.
When Leah Thomas dives into the pool, she could be sealing her place in NCAA history. The standout swimmer from the University of Pennsylvania will compete to become the first Division I openly transgender athlete to be crowned a national champion. The UPenn swim team posted this picture of Leah and two teammates poolside. Here they are, all three of our NCAA superstars. Her stellar season has smashed records, but also courted a wave of controversy, with some fellow athletes and parents concerned that Thomas has an unfair physical advantage. Thomas spent 3 seasons competing on the UPenn men's swim team and spoke candidly in December about her struggle during that time.
My mental health was not very good. There was a lot of unease about basically just feeling trapped in my body.
She has now completed 34 months of hormone replacement therapy, surpassing the 12-month NCAA requirement to compete on the women's team.
I can continue to do the sport I love as my authentic self.
It's left her teammates split, some sending a letter of public support, writing in part that Thomas and all transgender college athletes deserve to be able to participate in safe and welcoming athletic environments. While others have spoken out in opposition, one anonymous teammate tells the Philadelphia Inquirer she's concerned about physical advantages that don't, she says, give the other women a fair shot.
It's very difficult to focus when there's a lot of hatred and vitriol around you.
Skylar Baylor was the first openly transgender D1 athlete on a men's team. He flew to Atlanta this week to show his support for Leah.
We have to put our heads underwater and swim. And Leah has done an incredible job of that, but she shouldn't have to put her blinders on. So many of us before Leah have tried to say, hey, we exist to hopefully make the world a little bit more ready, right, for the next trans athlete. And Leah is now becoming part of that visibility train as well, so that the next trans person can hopefully be a little more accepted.
Blaine, it's not just today's race. Leah's actually competing in 3 different events. How do we see the rest of these championships playing out for her?
Hoda, there is so much to watch. So she's going to first hit the pool this morning at 10 o'clock. That's the 500-yard freestyle. The prelims finals are tonight. She's favored to win the 500 and the 200-yard freestyles. She's also swimming in the 100-yard freestyle, and she's got a shot there. But in addition to watching for her winning those races, Hoda, we're also watching for the potential. She is within striking distance of the long-held collegiate records by Missy Franklin and Katie Ledecky. So, of course, we're going to be watching to see if she touches those records during this weekend, too.
All right, Blaine Alexander for us in Atlanta. Blaine, thank you.
Now, there is some controversy about what this Leah Thomas is doing, but is there really a big outrage going on over it? Or are people accepting it and just saying, hey, it is what it is? He's taking the hormone requirements, you know, to be a swimmer in the girls' division. So, hey, what does it matter? So, some people just, they go along with it. And this is what the Bible says about people to go along with it. And this is in Romans chapter 1. It says, even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not correct or convenient or right. Who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So, you know, hey, you can see there were some people that were against it, but there was a lot of people that were for it. So they're saying, hey, it's okay. So they're just as guilty as the sinner that calls himself a girl or competes as a girl when he knows he's a man or a boy, you know. We live in a bad, messed up world right now. And it's only going to continue to get worse. Now, I think I showed y'all this one already, but I want to show it to y'all once again, so y'all can see, okay, well, exactly how bad it's getting in all areas of our life, okay? Check it out.
All right. I pledge my heart. To the rainbow. Of the not-so-typical gay camp. One camp. Full of pride. Indivisible. With affirmation and equal rights for all. Watch your heads.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg has announced that he and his husband, Chasten, have become parents. Buttigieg, the first openly gay cabinet secretary confirmed by the Senate, posted the news on Twitter today. He says that they're pretty overjoyed and have wanted to grow their family for some time now. He also says that the process isn't done yet and they will have to share more details coming up pretty soon. You know, it's always interesting whenever I hear about people growing their families and things like that, you know, because it's just such a special time. I know, you know, you have a daughter. I know everybody's I mean, listen.
We've all got daughters.
Ashley has a daughter, but everybody also is at Ashley's house, so she just always growing her family. But,
I mean, you know, big family, we share everything. You know, when you grow up together, it doesn't, you know, we're cousins.
That's how it works.
We still like this when you're 30.
I love that. And it's funny because when you have kids, you're like, I don't remember life before this. I'm sure.
I know I don't at all. I was just saying it the other day. Like, what did I used to do in the mornings before I came to work?
Right.
So much time.
This is a lot of time. What did I used to do in the morning? Exactly. I think I watched Law and Order for hours.
Yes.
And now I watch Coco Melon for hours.
That's the phase I'm in, not the Coco Melon.
So you can see there, it's not only just the ones who are committing the sins, but they're enticing others or telling others it's okay to sin like us. It's okay to be like us. It's okay to be different. It's okay to deny God's creation. If you want to be something else, you could be anything you want to be. Yep. I'll tell you what, and these are leaders. These are leaders in our country. And it's not just the leaders, it's the media. And you see how they praise Pete and his husband, or whatever you want to call them. And they act like it's normal. It's just, they're just reporting on a normal story. Here's another couple who adopted a child and are going to raise that child, and they're going to have a normal family. There's not going to be anything normal about it. How can anything be normal about that family? Huh? There's nothing normal about it whatsoever. But in this day and time, this is 2022, and anything goes, and things that are looked on as evil used to be looked on as evil or looked on as right now. And if you try to bring up something that's right and say this is right, no, it's looked on as being evil now. We live in an upside down world, people. An upside down world. Well, look here, I just felt the need to bring this to y'all. And I'm still working on getting the other ready, getting the live stream ready. So, we can take phone calls and talk about different stories. Maybe talk about this and get y'all's opinions on them. And I've been up going all day long. And but it's just been on my heart to want to talk about this, and I had it ready to do in the live stream, but I just ain't got it ready yet, able to get it yet. But it's coming. I'm gonna get it. But yeah, this is some bad stuff right here. And where is it, people? It's right outside your front door, and they're trying to bring it inside your front door. They're trying to normalize this evil. And but us chicken boners, we ain't gonna fall for it, and we're gonna tell everybody we can about this evil, and we're gonna share good with them, because that's what the chicken boners are all about, good, and about living for God and Jesus Christ. All right, I'll see y'all next time. Pop, pop, pop.